morning everyone and welcome to the class. In the previous class we have completed our chapter that is Congress system, challenges and its restoration. And in this chapter we have discussed how the Congress was facing challenge not only from outside but from within also. And these challenges were tackled in a very skillful manner by Mrs. Gandhi, and we see that the Congress system was actually restored. The results of the 5th general election and the state assemblies election proved that the Congress system was restored. But the system was restored, the Congress system was restored, but what we find that the nature of the Congress party was changed a lot. Now we see that there was lack of democracy in Congress, in this new Congress. And not only this, we also find that the organization was also become weak, and the support base was also narrowed. It was limited to some particular groups only. So in this way we see that how Congress system was restored, but actually the whole nature of the Congress was changed. And now we will see that so many changes were taking place. First of all, we see that during the 4th and 5th general election, in between the period, the polarization was very high, party polarization, because we see that different political parties, the opposition political parties, they started to make an alliance against Congress. And not only this, because of this polarization, what was happening, that the Congress was somehow under pressure. And after this 1969, we see that there was problem in the relationship. There was tension in the relationship between the government and the judiciary. So what was the problem, that the government was taking many socialist moves. Many socialist decisions were taken by the government, and the Supreme Court was of the opinion that many initiatives, many decisions of the government were violative of the Constitution. The government was not following the Constitution in true spirit. And on this we see that the Congress took this status that the judiciary was not allowing it to work according to the interest of the poor people. Party took the stand that whatever the judiciary was doing, that was actually against the principle of democracy and parliamentary supremacy. As we have adopted democracy, as we have adopted parliamentary form of government, and under democracy, what is the form of government? The government is of the people. The government is for the people, and the government is by the people. So we see that it was the argument of Indira Gandhi that the government was not, the judiciary was actually interfering in the functioning of the democratic government. It is not allowing the democratically elected government to act according to its promises which was done to the people of the country. And because of this interference of the judiciary, actually what was what was obstructing the parliamentary supremacy, because we have adopted the parliamentary form of government, and under this parliamentary form of government, the parliament is the supreme authority. And now judiciary is not allowing parliament to do so many functions. It is not allowing the executive to perform its functions. So it was a kind of it was against the parliamentary supremacy. Okay, so the Congress, not only this, the Congress also alleged that the court was a conservative institution and it was becoming an obstacle in the way of implementing pro-poor welfare program. So now the politics was becoming more and more personalized, and the opposition was of the opinion that the governmental authority was now converting into personal authority, because of the personality of the Prime Minister. It was becoming more personalized, and we see that there was a split in the Congress in the year 1969, and this split also sharpened the division between Indira Gandhi and her opponents. And now we will see that the election of 1971 was won by Mrs. Gandhi on, and the popular slogan of this election, in the campaigning of this election, the most popular slogan was Garibi Hatao, remove poverty. So the expectation of people were very high from the Congress government of 1971. The expectation were very high from the Prime Minister herself, and it was expected by the people that there must be something must be done by the government in order to remove the poverty. So many programs were there, but actually we find that these programs were not giving any fruitful results. And what we find that in this period, after this election of 1971, the social and economic condition of the country became very bad, especially after 1971-72. And one of the reason was the Bangladesh crisis. Because of that conflict between this East Pakistan and West Pakistan, so many refugees came in India, and not only this, India has to again engage in a war, and war means loss of money, loss of lives, loss of money. So this was causing a heavy strain on Indian economy. Okay, and we see that not only this, we see that after this war of 1971, what happened, that the US government stopped giving aid to India, because at that time Pakistan was a satellite country of US. Satellite means, as you know, satellite is that body, that celestial body which revolves around the planet, isn't it? It has only one function, to revolve around the planet. It has no existence of its own. In the similar way, when we say that some state is the satellite state of any country, it means that the country which is satellite is blindly following the main country. So in the similar way, the country Pakistan was the blind follower of US, and because of this, US was giving aid to Pakistan. But what we find that this aid which was given to Pakistan was very huge, and India was also getting aid from US. But because of the war of 1971, what happened that US stopped giving aid to India. It was a kind of manifestation of its anger towards India, because India involved in war with Pakistan, which was the very hard supporter of America. So one reason was the war with Pakistan in 1971, then the refugees, which were around 80 lakh refugees came in India at that time. Then the third problem was US stopped giving aid to India. Okay, and moreover this, what we find that at this time, especially in 1973, because of Arab-Israel war, what happened that oil crisis also generated, and this oil crisis led to the increase in the oil prices manifold. So when there is increase in oil price, it lead to increase in prices of commodities also. So this was another problem which the country was facing at that. So all these factors led to the all-round increase in prices of commodities. All these reasons led to the a very high price rise of commodities. Prices increased by 23% in 1973 and 30% in 1974. So this was, what is this? If the prices are increasing at this rate, at 23% in 1 year, and in the following year it is increasing at 30%, then this is a high level of inflation. What is inflation? Inflation is the price rise. When the price of commodities increases at a very high rate, and because of this increase in price of commodities, what happens that the value of money decreases. So this decrease in the value of money and increase in the prices of commodities, this status, this condition is known as inflation. And during inflation, what is the problem people face? The people face price rise. The people face that they are not able to fulfill the basic needs of their life. So this was the condition which was prevailing in country after the election of 1971. And what we find that the Congress, or the Indira Gandhi, has won the election on the promise of on the slogan of Garibi Hatao, and it was promised that the government will remove poverty. But what we find that what happened after the election was very undesirable, very unacceptable for the people of the country. The common people were hard hit by this high level of inflation. So this price rise which was caused by so many factors. This price rise was the main reason for the dissatisfaction among the people. Okay, so we are discussing the situation which was prevailing after the fifth general election and state assemblies election, and we find that one of the problem was price rise, but that was not the only problem. Other than this, there were other problems also. We see that at this time industrial growth was very low. Industries were not growing at a high rate, and because of this we see that unemployment was also very high, and not only in urban areas but in rural areas also the rate of unemployment was very high. And what we see that in order to reduce expenditure, the government wanted to reduce the expenditure, and in order to reduce it, the government froze the salaries of its employees. What was done by the government? That it started to freeze the salaries of its employees. The government employees were not given salary because the government has to spend so many amount. Because of price rise, the problems were increasing. So the government stopped giving salary to its employees, and this freezing of salary, this caused very great dissatisfaction among the people, especially the government employees. They were highly dissatisfied by this decision of the government. And moreover, what we find that during this period, in the year 1971-72, we find that the monsoon was also failed, and this failure of monsoon caused low agricultural productivity, because in our country we are dependent on monsoon for irrigation. So when there is monsoon failure, it will certainly cause reduction in agricultural productivity. Okay, so we see the food grain production was declined by 8% in this period. In the year 1972-73, the agricultural production, the food grain production declined by 8%. And we see that people were highly dissatisfied with this situation. Opposition party was completely ready to take advantage of this situation, and it started to organize popular protest effectively. So this is the role of the opposition. Opposition is there to make people aware of the loopholes of the government, drawbacks of the government, and not only this, but the opposition party is also there to organize people, to mobilize people, so that they can raise their voice against the functions of the government, against the decisions of the government, and in this way there will be pressure on the government, and this will form the public opinion, and this will help them in the coming elections. So the situation which was prevailing at that time, that situation was very favorable for the opposition parties of the Congress, and they took advantage of this situation and they started organizing public protest. And we see that there were so many instances, so many examples of students' unrest, which started from the late 1960s, and they became very powerful during this period, the period of after 1971. So, on the one hand, we see that students' movement was on rise. Students were highly dissatisfied with the situation, and they were protesting vigorously. Not only this, we also find that there was also an increase in the activities of Marxist group. And these Marxist group, this is Communist Party of India, Marxist. Okay, so this Marxist group, this CPIM, they were not believing in parliamentary politics. They are of the opinion that there is no need of government. They don't believe in democracy. They don't believe in elections. So these Marxist group also became very active, because these CPIM, the main focus of this CPIM is the poor section of the society. The landless laborers, peasants are the main focus of this CPIM, and we find that this group also started to take the path of violent changes. They had taken to arms, and they wanted to overthrow this capitalist order, the order which was prevailing at that time, though it was projected by Indira Gandhi that she was a socialist and she was taking so many socialist actions. But actually what was happening that in the country poverty was not poverty was still there, and there was no reduction in the problem of poverty. And not only this, what we find that at that time the divide, the gap between the rich and the poor was also increasing at a high rate. So actually what was happening, that the order was capitalist. The system was such that it was helping the capitalist, it was helping the rich class. But it was only projected before the people that the government is socialist. So these Marxist group, they started to take to arms. They started they started taking violent measures against the government, and they also started insurgent techniques, insurgency, a kind of terror. They started to create terror, and because they wanted to overthrow the capitalist order, and in this way they wanted to establish their own political system in which there will be no disparity of income, there will be equality everywhere. Okay, so this is the group which is known as Naxalite. We call it Naxalite, and at present, and they are very highly violent group, and they were particularly strong in West Bengal. So the state government took strict action to control these violent moves, and we see that these violent moves were not easy to suppress. And now we will shift our focus to students' protest, and these student protests were happening in Gujarat and Bihar. So these two states, Gujarat and Bihar, these two states were Congress ruled states. In these two states there were rule of Congress party, and we see that the movement, the student movement, had a very far-reaching impact on the not only on the politics of these two states, but the impact of this student movement was also on the national politics. And we see that in January 1974, students in Gujarat started an agitation against rising prices of food grains, then the rising prices of cooking oil and other essential commodities. So what was the problem? The problem was price rise. Why there was movement by the student? The main reason for this movement was the high price rise of the essential commodities. And when the price is rising of the essential commodities, then the worst affected group will be the poor group, because they will not be able to purchase the essential commodities like food grains and cooking oil and all these things. So this protest was against, what was the reason? The reason was price rise. Other than price rise, there was one more reason, and that was corruption. So these were the two reasons for the price rise, because corruption was also a very big problem at that time. And we see that this protest, which was started by students, very soon these protests were joined by major opposition parties, and it became very widespread. Its effect was becoming very important. And what we find that this student movements, which was joined by opposition parties also, this became the cause for the imposition of president's rule in the state of Gujarat. Okay, so we see that the opposition parties demanded fresh election. Okay, now the opposition parties were of the opinion that there must be fresh elections. The opposition parties were against the imposition of president's rule. They were not in favor of the imposition of president rule. Instead, they were demanding that there must be fresh elections, because fresh elections will pave the way for the it will lead to another, it will give chance to another party, because the atmosphere which was prevailing in Gujarat was completely against the ruling government. So now it was demanded by the opposition parties that fresh elections must be held. And the most important leader in Gujarat against the government was Morarji Desai. As I told you, there was a very conflicting relationship between Indira Gandhi and Morarji Desai, because Indira Gandhi, we saw that when there was, after the death of Shastri, there was election in the Congress Parliamentary Party. The election was there for the post of Prime Minister, in which Morarji Desai and Indira Gandhi was contesting the election, and in this election Morarji Desai was defeated. Then we also again we saw that in 1969, when Morarji Desai was the Deputy Prime Minister of Indira Gandhi, at that time the situation was such that he has to resign, because Indira Gandhi has taken some decisions like nationalization of 14 banks, then the abolishment of privy purse. So all these socialist move led to the resignation of Morarji Desai. And what we find that this Morarji Desai was very much against Indira Gandhi, and he belonged to Congress O. And now in Gujarat he was leading the protest of the students, which was joined by all the opposition parties. And now it was the demand of Morarji Desai that if fresh elections were not held in the state, then he will go on an indefinite fast. So this was the situation which was prevailing in Gujarat. And what we find that when this kind of pressure was put on the government by the students, by the opposition political parties, now the government has to accept the demand of the students, demand of the opposition party. And assembly elections were held in Gujarat in June 1975. We are talking about Gujarat. In Gujarat, the government accepted the demand of the students and the opposition party, and fresh elections were held in June 1975. And in this election, we can understand what could have been the result. The result was that Congress was defeated. Why Congress was defeated? Because Congress was not able to fulfill the promises it made in the previous election, and the situation was very bad because of price rise. Common people were not able to fulfill the basic needs of their lives, and students' protest was on a rising. And not only students, but this protest was joined by political parties also, and Morarji Desai was there to lead them. So all these situations lead to the end of the rule of Congress in Gujarat, and there Congress lost the power. So this was the loss of Congress. Now after that we will see the situation which was prevailing in Bihar. Bihar was also a state which was ruled by this Congress party, and there also the same type of situation arose, and we will discuss all these things in the next class. Okay.